All right, let's put these cards. So this first couple cards I'm pulling at the very top here are the mind spaces. This is pretty much, or the mental plane. This helps us to understand each person's mindset going into the relationship. You know, this whole thing focusing on the connection between you and this person. Now, the second batch of cards here, second couple, are the physical plane, which helps us to see how each of you guys are displaying yourselves to each other and how you guys see yourselves. And the last card here is the card that represents which I call the spiritual plane, but gives us a bit of background as to why everybody's presenting themselves the way they present themselves and thinking the way they think for this relationship. Now, the last couple cards here, this one here, does give us a little insight as to what brought you two together. And this card here gives us the information that we need to figure out what the challenges that you guys are having to face together. Woo! Amazing. And y'all have the underlying energy being the lovers. Okay, we're just going to kick it off with some love then. Okay, we're just going to kick it off with love. Underneath that is the Six of Cups. Damn. Soulmate energy in the building. Yeah, you can tell my Gemini moon is awake today. Sometimes it's asleep, sometimes it's all grumpy, sometimes it's like hype, wanting to have a party. It's crazy, inconsistent, and all over the place, but I love it. But family, alright, picking up this crystal here, kind of just rubbing in my hands as I'm looking at your reading, and already I'm excited. Definitely it's going to require you all to have trust, though. Trust that what you love is definitely that you love. You know, because I think there's a little bit of doubt here, right? Which is why we had that Two of Wands in the very beginning with the Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, rather. There's a lot of caution. You know, you guys are really taking things really slow, trying to be gentle, trying to be safe, you know, because you don't want to just jump into anything. Because, of course, when the Knight of Pentacles is doing that stuff, taking a look at details and being very slow, it's because he doesn't trust the situation thoroughly. He wants to get all the information. He's looking at it very detail-oriented. And he's very, very attention to detail right now. So that means I feel like that was you guys and maybe the other person as well. And you guys are trying to make a decision, and a very highly educated decision for your heart, because it's such a big one, right? Your heart is so huge. Y'all know that y'all have one of the hugest hearts in the zodiac. Probably like number one on top of the list. So it's about how you progress forward. How do you move forward? How do you start building something that can definitely lead to stability, you know, and honestly build, you know, and obviously create a relationship that does stand the test of time, that can build a legacy. Because already you could tell from one of these people here that their mentality going into this relationship is about creating a legacy with this person, but it's about whether or not they have everything that they need to do that. And how they're kind of approaching it is definitely coming from a place of pain. And I'm already spoiling it, so let's go into it, right? I'm going to be starting off with this person here. Please, guys, feel free to pick the side that resonates with you guys the most. Okay, the other side will be your soulmate. I'm going to start with the side here. This person's looking at the situation and seeing this as a victory. All right, they're seeing this as a celebration. They're already having a party. I think that's probably why I'm having a party in my heart right now, because I can already sense that this person is hype as fuck right now. You know, they're connected with you. They feel like there's a friendship, definitely. They definitely feel like they could take it more, you know, take it more serious, and not take it seriously like they couldn't have before, but like, you know, they're not hesitant to go there with a relationship now. Like, they have a little bit more trust, just a little bit more, but they're willing to just continue to push forward. They're willing to say, you know what, let me give it another shot. Let me give this a shot. Let me actually see what's going on. They're taking it slow, like step by step, friendship wise, right? They're seeing you as a friend first. They see the potential for there to be more, but they're taking it super slow because they're trying to be patient. They're trying to really get all the information, really trying to see if this person is someone that they can trust. Now, the other person is already going into this thinking like, yeah, I want to get married. I want to be serious. I want to have a legacy. I want to start building an empire, you know? So, hold on a second, y'all. My camera's about to die, and that would be bad. If I could quickly plug this in. I'll plug this in here. Okay, that's better. Alright. Sorry about that, y'all. Craziness is happening here. But, yeah, this person's already going into it ready to stabilize, ready to settle down. They're looking at the situation like, how can I continue to grow this? Like, or like really, they're already like looking for a commitment, right? Not necessarily like jumping into like, hey, I need to commit right here, right now, like fast. Even though they kind of look like they are, I think their intentions are like, I'm looking for a relationship to blossom or to kind of come out of this, right? I'm looking for something that's going to last me a long time, not something that's going to be, like last me a hot minute. Now, how they present themselves as the King of Swords. Now, they may be very serious. They may be really good at communication, though. Excellent with communication, talking, getting intellectual, getting down to the nitty gritty of situations, really having those hard talks, especially when it comes to, being transparent. I feel like this person is very, very clear on who they are and what they stand for, what they believe in, what their truths are, and they're really solid in who they are. Now, this could indicate an Aquarian energy too, but I feel like with you guys being Leos and your 7th house being an Aquarius, you guys are naturally confident and cool with yourself. You guys are aware of who you guys are through and through. So I don't really see this necessarily as as an Aquarius. It can be, but I feel like this is you definitely tapping into your 7th house. But at the same time, you guys are also a little bit more detached when it comes to this. I know you guys want a relationship, but your approach to it is very detached. You're not really allowing your emotions to kind of just be the dictator of how your relationship is going to go. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've been through some stuff. The King of Swords, the reason why he's detached, the reason why he's logical, the reason why he is the way he is because he's been through so much BS, been through so much trauma, been through so much pain, that the only way for him to get through or get, be able to protect himself is by being a certain way, by being logical, by seeing things at face value and understanding them to its core before allowing them into his heart. So this person is not necessarily mean or trying to be mean. They're just coming from a place of, I have got to protect myself because no one else is going to do that. And he understands that completely, King of Swords. So I definitely see that this person is very serious, very communicative, and they are very open to giving this communication and giving that information to the person that they're looking to stabilize with. But I feel like at the same time, they're willing to, cut the person off if it's not going to happen, because they're not looking for anybody in their life that's not going to show them they can stabilize, that they can commit, that they can honestly build a future with them. They want to make sure if this is somebody that's going to play with me. Like, this person is like, I'm not playing. I'm not interested in the BS. Are you coming at me being serious, or are you just playing? So the other person here, it's got the 4 of Wands. They already feel like they're in a very stable position. They're in a position now, they feel like, especially how they are and how they're presenting themselves right now, they're showing that they are, as well as how they feel about the connection, are in a position to expand, in a position to grow. And that to me talks about, that honestly to me means that this person sees this relationship capable of growth. This is why I was saying it. They feel good, they have trust. This person is obviously in their inner circle here, and they're able to see this person and expand this horizon, expand this growth, right? They're ready to move on, ready to grow and see what can come about this newfound energy. And the reason why this person is coming from this place is because they took the time. It's because they were looking closely at the details. It's because, and I think also too, they may have been the person to come at the other person with an offer of love, or not offer of love, an offer of something long term, taking the time. Let's date. Let's get to know each other. Let's see if there's a future together. Let's build something together. So I feel like, if this isn't necessarily seeing this person as a friend, and at the same time, I don't want to, for those of you that are in relationships with this person, it's not to say that this person just sees you as a friend, but they can connect with you in a very open way, like a friend, because that's a beautiful thing anyway. But at the same time, right, this person definitely feels like there's a connection. There's something that you two both work together with. You guys are beautiful together. This person feels a connection for sure. Or they see this situation as, souls coming together and uniting and, being the support network that obviously this person needs and this person can provide you with. And I feel like it's because this person took the time and looked at the details and was patient that they are able to actually extend themselves a little bit further and, start growing the relationship a little bit more. Now, what's interesting here is that this person here has the Knight of Swords instead. Two opposing knights. And the Knight of Pentacles is super slow, takes their time and everything, while this person is quick and fast to the hurry. Now, I know I said in the very beginning that this person, is running to make sure this person is not playing any games. The person is very serious. The person is, adamant about being in a stable relationship. I feel like this person may be trying to rush it a little bit, or maybe, trying to move a little too fast. But the reason why this person is showing the King of Swords and thinking the Ten of Pentacles is because of the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, yes, it may be talking about moving fast, but it also talks about fighting for what they believe in. Going in ready to kind of, go head toe to toe with somebody if they're not in agreement with them. Now, it sounds aggressive, but I feel like this person is just on fight mode only because they want to protect themselves. They see the potential for growth, but they're willing to not just protect the relationship and fight for the relationship, but fight for themselves and who they are regarding relationships they get into in the future. Now, let's take a look and see what brought y'all together. Because y'all have the Four of Cups. Alright? The Four of Cups is a beautiful card. It can be, anyway. But only if, there's progression, right? The Four of Cups does talk about being stuck emotionally, right? I feel like a lot of you guys, both parties even, were looking at the situation and having a hard time figuring out how you guys can start something new if you've been through so much BS before in the past, right? Because this is talking about focusing on experiences, on relationships that you've already had and comparing them to either the offer that you had before or an offer that you had in that moment. There was a lot of comparing, like, okay, well, how is this going to be different than the other BS that I have had before or the other relationships I had before? And they may not be BS relationships. They may be really lovely. Like, they may have been everything that you need to be the person that you are now. But at the same time, though, they never actually, got to a place of Ten of Pentacles level, like marriage, commitment, having children, growing something of, building on the legacy, right? So it may not have gone that far, and those relationships may be just fine, but it's like you want something more. You don't want to just be in a relationship for 5 minutes or be in a relationship for a little while and then have it not work out. You want something that's going to lead to actually maybe developing a family or something, or maybe just, start something that lasts you guys a long time, not something that's going to, like I said, be something that lasts a hot minute. So you guys were both in a situation where you guys were both stuck. You guys were both kind of apathetic about relationships, about yourselves, about your whole life, uninspired, unamused. And that is a really scary place for a Leo to be, because y'all are the life of the party. Y'all are the creators. You guys are where the heart is. Creation and children, procreation, all that stuff is where y'all at. So you guys came together at a time to re-inspire yourselves, to shift your focus from what you've been through to focus on what you want to feel. And that's what it's coming about. I think that Ace of Cups came in because you guys, focus on what you wanted to feel rather than what you have already felt. And what's crossing that, right, is the Six of Pentacles, right? And that's the challenge. So the challenge is now gaining a balance, or figuring out what both of you guys are getting out of the situation. Because I think both of you guys do have a dynamic here that can definitely be worked on. Of course, with time that's given to each other, as well as, spending time together. But the Six of Pentacles, to me, is not necessarily like there's something wrong. You guys, somebody's doing this while the other person's doing that. Someone's being codependent while somebody's just taking it easy. I think there's that everybody wants something, but there needs to be a collaboration of working together to make that happen. So that way there is a balance between both of you guys in moving forward. Now, speaking of that, right, there could be a balance deficiency or an imbalance in the situation because one person wants to move slow or has been moving slow, and the other person is looking to speed the process up because they already know what they want, they already know how they feel about the person, but this person is not allowing themselves to trust the connection, trust how they feel to make the move forward. While this person is definitely very certain how they feel, know what they want, and yeah, sure, maybe taking a logical approach, but they are quite aware of how they feel. They're not emotionally detached from themselves. They detach themselves from their emotions when it comes to dealing with the day to day. But they're always 100% aware of their stuff. So I feel like there is a bit of dynamics. The dynamic may be a little off here with somebody moving slow, someone moving fast, but that's where the communication definitely needs to go in. What this person's looking for, speaking the intentions, right? Telling them what they want, telling them how they feel, being open and honest with it, and taking a chance, trusting that with them being honest, that things will still continue to be able to be built, just not in a pace that accommodates only one person. Finding a neutral speed, finding a neutral pace where both you guys can feel like you guys are both making progress, and not just starting at ground zero and feeling like this person's not really taking the situation seriously, or they're not sure, they're not 1 foot in. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like this person is committed here, or they may be thinking about committing, because they've gotten to a place where they can truly feel like they can expand this relationship. But this person already knows that they're already connected with this person. But it's like, this person, I don't know if this person already communicated. The King of Swords would have already beaten me to it. If so I must just assume that this person's already communicated, and it's about trying to gain a balance between you and this other person. And the best thing I can say is continuing to, to talk and communicate, and to, of course, speak from come from I statements, and talk from your own perspective about what you need from the relationship. Because everybody needs something, everybody wants something, but it takes one to communicate that in order for that to happen. Same with this other person, is they're taking a lot of time, moving slow, not really sure, being very cautious, and they just need to communicate what they need too, so that way there can be a balance of give and take in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and see what the hell's going on with your wisdom of the lover, wisdom of the whisper. Oh my gosh, whispers of love. Talking so much, and then the zone. It's just sometimes forget to breathe. On top of that, don't know what I'm saying. Slow down. This is the card you guys got. You guys have slow down here. When you're excited, you get ahead of yourself, take some time to allow things to unfold. And this could definitely apply to the person here that's wanting to go really fast with that Knight of Swords. The dynamic is off with that energy moving very quickly. But I still feel like if it's moving too slow, understand too, of course, that you have every right to ask of this. But honestly, look within yourself. Of course, the King of Swords would know why he wants to move fast, which would obviously, if it's something that's reasonable, then he'll take the time. But at the same time as well, there is a level of flexibility that's going to be needed here, because you're learning someone else. This person needs the space. The person needs to, wants the time to get to know you thoroughly. But that's developing trust with that person, not so much just trying to get to the relationship here and now. Understand that there's a building block to things, as well as developing something. And I feel like if you are ready to move forward, go ahead and pop the question if you want to move it that fast. But understand too, the person wants to take it slow, that must have good reason. And it's not because they don't love you, it's not because they don't see a future with you. It's because they want to be sure that what they're getting into is something that they can truly be invested in love, and just be comfortable in. But this is about allowing them to develop trust with you, or you developing trust with them, depending on which side y'all are connected with.